This Fan Run podcast is brought to you by DraftKings.
Football fans, who's ready to score some free bets? Well, now you can when you bet on any NFL game this week with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers who bet just $1 on any team to score can win $100 in free bets. When a team scores, you score. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code FANRUN in all caps. Bet just $1 on either team to score and win $100 in free bets. If they score, you score with promo code FANRUN in all caps this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older in Tennessee only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
We kick off hour number 3 of the program. Talked about college football, of course. Very interesting week in the SEC.
How did picks go, Dave?
I think you guys actually did pretty good. I didn't have that good of a week.
You don't have this pulled up somewhere?
No, I'll get that for you next segment.
Hang on, they were all SEC picks.
Well, I mean, I know who won. Like, I don't remember what everybody had. Like, Ole Miss covered, even though they shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Liberty just couldn't execute in the red zone. Mississippi State covered. Tennessee obviously covered. Florida did not cover. And then Auburn did not cover.
I was 4-1.
I was also 4-1.
I picked against my SEC Survivor draw. I don't know why. Just did.
Who was the leading rusher?
It was
not Tyon Evans.
He didn't even play, really.
Kevin Harris, I believe.
You said it's going to be impossible to get that this week.
Yeah.
And I'd say it was.
I don't even think he had.
Georgia was the biggest blowout.
I got that one.
And Will
Rogers, leading passer.
417.
Leading rusher, yeah, Kevin Harris, 128.
I told you. Couldn't even get the right Ole Miss leading rusher. It was Jaron Ely on 10 carries.
I think he had like a 70-yarder, something like that. Kind of helps.
It'll do it. Great, Auburn. Excited.
Yep.
Excited about my draw.
Only 3 weeks left.
Mm-hmm. I used my redraw on that. I mean, I would have lost the other one, so it made sense. But
wait, who was the other one? Vanderbilt?
Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's off.
Yeah, that was not
I remember
great.
the black helmet, I guess.
Not great.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been. At least you didn't pull South Carolina and get.
That's what I would have probably.
Yeah, you probably would have.
Yeah, I would have absolutely done that.
And then, so
all you guys won, huh?
Yep. A&M, South Carolina, Alabama.
Cool. That's.
If only you'd have known that Cameron Harris would run all over Florida.
Yeah. No, I didn't take Will Rogers either.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
How has Will Rogers
Bryce
played
Young
in a week where he wasn't the leading passer? I mean,
surely, right?
Maybe one of those early weeks. The last 3 or 4 weeks, it's been him every week.
I thought Barry Odom would have something dialed up. He did not.
No.
They still won.
Yep.
But Will Rogers zipping it all over the place.
He gets Auburn this week. No, next week. Wait, what? I thought yeah, it is. It's Mississippi State at Auburn noon, ESPN.
Announcement from Gainesville that linebackers coach Christian Robinson will assume defensive play calling duties for the Gators, while Paul Pasqualoni, special assistant to the head coach, will play an on-field role for the remaining portion of the season.
Speaking of coaching changes, we actually have our first Power 5 hire. Breaking news just now.
Okay.
Texas Tech has hired their coach. Anybody want to take a guess at who they hired?
No. Got no clue.
Is it a name I've heard?
Probably not.
Okay.
Baylor assistant Joey McGuire.
Baylor's got a big game this week.
That means
against
nothing for me.
Oklahoma.
They got beat by TCU, so
Who did? Baylor?
yeah. Maybe firing Gary Patterson worked out so well. You beat a top 10 team. So
Fascinating.
I think they were 9th. I could be wrong.
There's some talk that Matt Campbell going to be on TCU's list.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be such a weird move for
Why
him.
would you
the
jump down?
Right. The guy can go just about anywhere he wants. He's going to go to TCU. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. Nate, I would like to apologize.
Yeah?
Michigan State falls at Purdue. The Boilermakers are just giant killers this season. It is what it is.
Sad.
I know.
You don't go into Tennessee coach Jeff Brom's house and just walk away with a
That's
win.
true.
I'll tell you what, Kenneth Walker III, that is one of the biggest misses by previous coaching staffs that I can think of. He's a Tennessee boy.
Yep. And he's a
Heisman
flipping stud, is what he is. Let's see here. Notre Dame takes care of Navy. Michigan handles Indiana. North Carolina, who was favored over undefeated and number 9 Wake Forest, gets the win 58-55. Kiss of death from Hickman there.
That game was crazy. Ty Chandler. How about his day? Have yourself a day.
Yeah, was he the leading rusher in all of college football?
Maybe. Like 258 or something.
213.
He had over 400 yards from scrimmage and 4 touchdowns.
Really? Let's see. Looks like in Power 5 he was the leading rusher.
Wow.
Not bad. Really wish you could have hung on to him. Did you? San Diego State goes to Hawaii, wins 17-10. Have we talked about their punter?
No, but I did see that.
Oh my! This guy.
I don't understand it. I don't. Go ahead, please.
This guy has now 3 punts over 80 yards on the season.
3?
He doesn't have any touch, though, you know?
Yeah, he's got to work on the coffin corner from 70 yards out.
Sad.
I don't understand how he can physically kick it like longer than anyone else in history.
He had 5 punts for 248 yards. That's a 49.6 average, long of 79. It was only a 79-yarder because it rolled out of the back of the end zone for a touchback from the 21. So if he had been standing on his 1, it still would have been a touchback because it rolled so far. It hit the back wall outside of the back of the end zone.
What's he? I mean, is he 7 feet tall? Is he like 400 pounds?
He's 6'2", 200.
Is he like Gumby? Is he double jointed? Like what? Is his calf muscle the size of Texas? Like what's the deal here?
He's
got
special.
Extra tightly wound hamstring, a la like rookie of the year. Like what's the deal?
He's also their field goal kicker. I think he's averaging 50. Oh, what is it? It's a lot of punts, man. A lot of yardage. You can't track it for the season, but they did show a statistic that he would be the best punter in the NFL by far. Not even close. I think he was averaging. His average went down in this game because he was averaging like 54 yards a punt.
When you say best punter, you just mean like yards per kick or yards per punt?
And downs inside the 20, downs inside the 10. Like just anything to do with punting, he's the best at it in the world.
No, Brett Kern set up that first interception last night.
In a world.
That dude's got the coffin corner down.
There were a couple punts in that game that hit inside the 5 and just
Those
straight
were the
up.
2 best punters in the NFL last night.
It looked like it.
Kern and Hecker.
I guess we better give Davey his Titans talk on the other side, right? I mean,
About that time.
it was a pretty big one last night.
Yep. He's been waiting all day. Look at him. He's like about time.
Champing at the bit.
It's the biggest game of the weekend.
What do I say happens when the Titans are the underdogs?
He called it.
Got to give
He
him his
called
due.
it.
I guess we'll do that next. This segment of the program brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's a big weekend in the NFL, and the Titans came through last night. We're going to let Davey talk about it here for a little bit. The final game of NFL Week 9 is tonight, and FanDuel wants to make sure you get the most out of every play. If you haven't used your same-game parlay bet this week, as you can each and every week with FanDuel for new and existing users, make sure you hop on it. It's Bears-Steelers tonight. Even if that game's not super exciting to you, it can be a lot more with a same-game parlay. Bet it with 3 legs or more, and if your bet doesn't win, FanDuel will pay you back up to $10. You can, look for over-unders on all kind of things. Like, if you think Justin Fields is going to continue to struggle, you go under passing yards. You go take Najee Harris over rushing yards. Look for all kind of different ways to bet the NFL with the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Make sure you opt in, do a $10 bet on 3 legs or more, and if you win, it'll be a nice payday because it's a parlay. If you lose, then FanDuel will give you $10 back in site credit that you can use again on any other bet. If you're new to FanDuel Sportsbook, sign up with our promo code 3OUT. That's 3OUT, and you can still receive that risk-free first bet up to $1,000. That's promo code 3OUT, so they know we sent you. We love FanDuel. You will as well. If you haven't tried it, give it a shot today. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund, $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Same game parlay available for multiple sports in all states on mobile web. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789. All right, Davey Hudson. The Titans defied all odds on the road at SoFi. And defense played just phenomenal football. Pass rush was all over Matt Stafford. Got the pick 6.
So last night, the Titans, 6-2, leading the AFC, went into SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, taking on the also 6-2 Rams. No, sorry, 7-1 Rams. They're now 7-2. The 7-1 Rams, and not many people were giving them a shot. They're like, no Derrick Henry. This offense can't do anything. And they were right in that regard. The offense really could not do anything. They did not put up many points. They were fortunate that the defense stepped up, bigly. You look at the pass rush.
Quite bigly.
The pass rush that the Titans were able to generate. Jeffrey Simmons had 3 sacks in the first half. And one of them, he didn't even get a sack, but he did twist Matt Stafford around in the end zone. And then you had an a la Carson Wentz moment from Matt Stafford where he threw the ball straight to David Long Jr., who was able to get to about the 2-yard line. And at that point, the Titans were like, all right, you got some momentum rolling. So then next play, I think it was the next play. They might have tried to run it first. I can't remember. But on the same drive in the red zone, Titans throw a pass to Jeff Swaim in the end zone for a touchdown. Titans take the lead 7-3. All right, let's see what this defense can do.
Nice little double tied in flood concept on that one.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I think that's like the most popular play in the NFL that like always works.
He had 2 guys wide open.
But even though the Titans were, before I get back into the game plan, even without Derrick Henry, they did not change from their identity. We're going to try to run the ball first. And even though Adrian Peterson was the guy they kind of gave the carries to, I did think Deontay Foreman looked better running the ball. But once these guys are in the system a little bit more, because you could tell they didn't know much of the blitz packages. They didn't have a whole lot to, I guess, work from the playbook whenever you looked at what they were able to do. But anyway, Titans kick the ball off. They're up 7-3. Next pass attempt by Matt Stafford, the mayor of Murfreesboro, Kevin Byard. He actually doesn't do what he's supposed to do on the play from a coverage standpoint, but it doesn't matter because, as he said, see the ball, get the ball. He got the ball, and he returned it 25 yards for a pick 6. Touchdown, Titans up 14-3, and the Rams are shook. Titans able to continue the onslaught to get it to 21-3 at half. And really the second half was uneventful, but the Titans do walk away with a 28-16 win. Prime time. I mean, the defense looked lights out. It was one of those things you talk about, all right, no Derrick Henry, what's going to happen? Who's going to step up on the offensive end? Well, it wasn't the offense that stepped up. It was the defense. And this defense, even though that they've had games where they have struggled at times, they came through when it mattered most. Titans now at 7-2 on the season. Right now, they have the easiest remaining schedule in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to tell Titans fans, like, I know we're at 7-2. We're going to lose a couple more games this year. It's just the NFL. It's hard to win out. I mean, you see it, like the upsets happen. Jacksonville shut down Buffalo yesterday. The Cowboys looked like trash. They were down 30-0 at one point at home to the Denver Broncos. So it's one of those things. Like any given Sunday, like the lines, these are
Yesterday
close,
was weird, man. Yesterday was a weird day in the NFL.
but it just goes to show you the parity amongst these teams and why the league is always for the saying any given Sunday. Now, right now, that the Titans did get that win last night, based off the New York Times playoff predictor out of 47,000 simulations. I ran the numbers this morning.
All of them?
All 47,455.
Putting in the work,
All
man.
right, yeah.
The Titans have a 99% chance of making the playoffs
Okay.
and winning the division. Right now, where things sit, they have a 53% chance of getting the first round bye. So, you look at the Titans now. Again, don't want to put. Actually, my cousin did see Derrick Henry in Nashville this week. He said he's looking good. So it's a little insider thing there.
What, with the 5 screws in his foot?
It's only one, but
It's not what they said.
said they put 5 screws in.
That's what it said.
Not what I heard. It could
That might
true.
just be to hold the apparatus in place at
Okay,
first.
Yeah. But anyways, moving on. Titans hopefully can get Derrick Henry back. I do think the offense will get a little bit better as Peterson and Foreman get more acclimated with the system, because you got to remember, everyone's like, well, Foreman was here last year. It's like, yeah, but Arthur Smith was calling the plays, so it's a little bit different. I know the grand identity is still there, but there are some differences from what Downing's doing compared to what Smith did last season. But the thing for me is, this was supposed to be like tied into the Tennessee Vols football team. There's always that 1 month that's like a stretch of death, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, you get Alabama, Georgia, sometimes Florida's in there, and then whoever happens to be the other best team in the West that year. That's usually how this thing works out. The Titans had that this season with playing Buffalo, playing Kansas City, going on the road to Indy, and then going on the road to Los Angeles. I said before the season I'd be happy if we went 2-2 in these games. Titans won all 4 of them.
Indeed, they did.
They make things. It's really weird though when you do look at it from a statistic standpoint. It's one of those things like with the Vols against Kentucky, stats wise, it says you probably shouldn't have won this game, but they find a way to pull it out and make plays where it matters most. And sometimes it's good to be lucky. I thought they got a favorable call there late. There was a roughing the passer on Aaron Donald that I didn't think was a roughing the passer, but the Titans were able to move the ball and eventually get down there and score a touchdown with Adrian Peterson getting his 125th touchdown in the league. But the big thing for me is that this team shows resiliency. They're going to play with the next man up mentality, and you didn't have a good game from the guys you said you needed to have step up on the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
Like A.J. Brown, easily could have cost you. I was scared when he dropped that 1 third down pass, and he had 2 third down drops that were big. But he dropped that one to where it's like, looks kind of like the Rams are getting a little bit of momentum. Mm-hmm. They're going down there. Fortunately, the officials got it right in that Tyler Higbee stepped out of bounds.
Yep.
And it wasn't a touchdown. So
Surprised they settled for the field goal there, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Titans just had their number last night, and so again, you're gonna. They've been fortunate. They've played good games, but I wouldn't say they've gotten the best out of their opponents. I'd say they got the best out of the Colts.
Yeah.
But the Colts just Carson Wentz there they're late in that game. So can the Titans continue to just win some games? Because now, I mean, say about getting greedy, you do have the easiest schedule, but if you can look at all the injuries that the Titans have sustained, I mean, the defense is playing good, and we still don't even have our best cornerback out there. So you get Fulton back, you get some of these other guys back. Taylor Lewan, I mean, it was a makeshift offensive line. We're having to start Bobby Hart because Taylor Lewan can't play. Nate Davis is in concussion protocol. Aaron Brewer, who they just activated off IR, does a pretty good job all game, all things considered, in stopping Aaron Donald, arguably the best defensive tackle in the league. You wouldn't have thought that, though, if you watched last night because, I mean, Jeffrey Simmons, man, that guy's going to get paid. Danico Autry came in, really set the tone early. Titans, what was their Achilles heel last year in a pass rush has turned into probably their most valuable asset right now when you
right now defensively, 100%.
look at where things currently sit.
From Ed Werder, The Titans are the 4th team in the last 15 years to win 4 straight games, all coming against playoff teams from the previous season. The last 3 teams to do it all made the Super Bowl, and 2 won it.
Yeah, the one that didn't was one of the Patriots teams, I think in 2011. Was that? I think it was weird. They had a 3-year stretch where in 2009, one of the teams made it that did this. 2010 it happened, and then 2011 it happened. And it hasn't happened since. But the Titans play better against the best competition. It's weird. And right now, like, I need to see that go. Like, it needs to happen where the Titans can actually, like, just beat up on the teams they should beat up on. The Saints have a good defense, and they lost this week to the Falcons. I was able to watch majority of that game. Like, their quarterback play is, like, going to hurt them.
Yeah. They're bad at quarterback.
Yeah, and the Titans are going to get them at home this week. They got to take advantage. And if you can win that one, where the rest of the AFC sits, you got a good chance of getting that first overall bye. Which, based off this team's injuries, and we still haven't even gotten to our bye week yet, which I'm kind of happy. Titans put in the work early, and it's paying off for them.
Titans currently 2.5-point favorite over the Saints this weekend. Does it make you nervous as they're favored?
It doesn't make me nervous, but I would rather than be the underdogs.
Right.
Defies all logic, but we get it.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. Hard to argue. Hard to argue.
It was a nice win last night.
Saints aren't good. They weren't.
No, and
they weren't
their
that
quarterbacks,
good with Winston. Now with Simeon and
you can tell they play different when they're not in the state of Florida or at home.
Okay.
It was weird. They were smart. Sean Payton did his research to get Aaron Rodgers to play in Jacksonville week 1. They're like, hey, Aaron Rodgers doesn't play well in Florida, so we're going to actually see if Jacksonville will let us host since the Hurricane won't let us play in New Orleans. And the Packers looked awful week 1.
Yes, they did.
And they also looked awful last night
yes, they
against
did.
a bad Chiefs team. And I think people are really regretting the Jordan Love pick after. I know it's one game, but my goodness. If you can't score points on that defense, you ain't scoring points on anybody else.
He was not good. He was not good. They need to get Aaron Rodgers back ASAP. They get Seattle this week. The fastest he can be cleared is Saturday.
Yes. So, but
Yeah.
an Aaron Rodgers on no practice is better than Jordan Love on
All the reps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agree.
Jordan Love looked rough.
I mean, bad.
Yeah. Against Kansas City defense, it's normally pretty trash.
No, statistically, they're the worst in the league, man.
Yeah, they have not been good this
Any
year.
chance Rodgers doesn't play next week?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got to get 2 negative tests, which he may not get, and even then, like a day before, and that's in Seattle, right?
I think so.
So he might have to fly up late?
Russell and Chris Carson are both coming off of IR. They should be activated to play in time.
Wow. I mean, if he's available, they're going to play him, Hickman. I think the question is, can he get those 2 negative tests?
Yep.
Said he felt a lot better after his initial symptoms, but we'll see. It's going to be a strange week in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Well, it's that time,
Okay.
Houston.
Really?
Up next, you'll draw your punishment.
You know, it's my birthday. Like, we could just not.
If you want to do it tomorrow, I'm fine with that.
I just meant like for the week.
No, that's not going to fly.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Rules is rules.
I made the game up. You don't draw on your birthday week.
So you're gonna do
You actually had 2 draws, and you screwed them both
So you're gonna
up.
do double
I didn't screw anything up. That was
you
the
gonna
draw.
do double punishment next week? Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
if
and
you
he
lose?
even used his redraw just to get.
Where were you? I
Yeah,
just
you're
said
not
that a
listening to
little
the
bit
show.
ago.
Oh, did you?
Oh, goodness, this show's gone.
Yeah.
It's that time of the day of the week. SEC Survivor punishment draws. The big winner of the weekend, Adam Hickman, who drew what felt like certain death on Friday. South Carolina Gamecocks.
Nate, did you have A&M when they beat Bama?
Yes.
So 24 is still the biggest line that has been overcome in Survivor this year.
Davey had Alabama, who did get in a game there late.
Yeah, they just wanted to increase TV ratings.
And then Houston and I were going heads up. Auburn versus Texas A&M, and the Aggies came out on top. So it's one draw and one draw only this week. It's the birthday boy, Houston Crest.
Where's the box of helmets?
Right here, over here.
Why don't you shut up? Okay, we got it under control. Pull this stupid list of it. Happy birthday, you moron. I already counted them. What are you doing? Do what?
They're all in
You got
here?
any fun plans?
No.
No fun plans?
No.
Monday birthdays suck.
You should have. You didn't do anything this weekend though, because you're fishing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gonna do birthday stuff this coming weekend?
I don't know.
For the Georgia game?
Sure.
That'd be a present.
Yeah,
Big win.
I'd take that. Sign me up.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm gonna have to draw a few ones.
What are you hoping you get?
I don't know.
Hand is in the box as he reaches for an NFL helmet that correlates with a punishment to be served Wednesday.
Who's that?
Falcons.
Gluttony.
Yep.
I went to Craven last night.
These are ones that have already been done when we're not.
Who's that?
Steelers? I feel like that might have gotten pulled. No?
I'm working on it.
I'm not seeing it.
Uh-oh.
It has not been
What is
pulled.
it? Oh! As he slinks down into his chair.
What do you got?
And deeply
Shot color trivia.
exhales.
Great.
Shot color trivia. Yeah. How many of those are left?
That might be the last one.
Check his computer. I don't believe him.
You don't believe him? Yeah. He didn't type enough to edit that.
Well, let's see. Who's
Can't believe you challenge his honesty like that.
now? Anybody sending in questions, please remember.
The ones you sent for the rest of us were god awful and hard.
This is my birthday, so be nice. Which one of you idiots is in charge of these questions?
Hickman.
What are my categories here, Hickman?
Easy, medium, and hard.
We'll give you Tennessee history, Tennessee sports history.
All sports?
Yeah.
Shut up, Dave.
Football, basketball, a little baseball in there.
Oh.
Throw in some Lady Vols while you're at
There
it.
has to be.
Yeah.
There
Gotta have
has to
some
be.
Lady Vol basketball.
Has to be something about fishing in there.
Lots of
Fishing
questions.
category.
Tennessee sports,
We need something
fishing.
new that he hasn't had before. What will be a new category for you?
The industrialization of bridges in South Dakota.
That's where you want to go? Really? Bridges in South
South
Dakota?
Dakota, do they have bridges?
Pretty flat.
Yeah, just pretty. I guess they got some creeks and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know.
Am I really supposed to study industrialization of
No.
bridges?
Maybe just the state of Texas. Since your name's Houston.
Oh, geeky.
Yeah, the city of Houston.
What
fun
did we
facts
What did
and
we ask you
whatnot.
last time? It was like it's like the name of the Houston Astros ballpark, stuff like that.
Did I get that one right?
I don't think so.
I don't
Are you
think
sure?
So. I think we gave you the name. I think we said who plays in
Minute Maid.
Yeah, and you're like,
Was it Minute? It is Minute Maid, right?
it is.
I think I might have got that one.
maybe you did.
One in Stripes has already offered his services out for the fishing questions.
Braves questions.
Yeah, just send those to the 37
Atlanta
group
Braves
chat.
questions.
What?
You're a big fan.
I mean,
They just won the
yeah.
World Series.
Yeah.
Oh, are you saying you're a bandwagon fan?
No. I'm a fan. I just don't follow it all that. I'm a casual fan.
Okay.
But a big one.
big old casual fan. All right. Spell Antetokounmpo.
See, that better not be for me. That's not my question.
No, I was just kidding.
Houston's really good, Adam, at naming
They'll be firm.
Oh,
Which
teams
God.
are in divisions.
Oh, hey, we gave you some pretty easy ones with that last time. You got them right. Most.
Did I?
Yeah, you got the NFL one right.
I don't know.
did.
I don't think I did.
No, you got the NFL one right. You had no clue on the NBA. As I wouldn't either.
Neat.
Yeah. All right. So some shot collar trivia on Wednesday. It's nice. No one has to buy any products or anything.
Yeah.
No blender usage.
Just make sure that thing's, well charged. I'm sure it is right now. You probably don't even need to look at it, really. It's probably just fine. I'm sure it's a lithium battery. Probably going to last forever. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you, Chris.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's cool.
Steelers play tonight. Steelers and Bears. What was the Steelers helmet? Pull them down.
That's true. They do have Big Ben back.
David Montgomery may be back.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yep.
He's been activated off IR.
Oh, okay. I like that. He's on one of my fantasy teams. So.
Same.
That's why I hang on to him, Hickman.
He's a good back.
Yeah, I agree.
Very underrated for fantasy football.
If you want 15 points every week from your running back 2, he's your guy.
It could be worse than shot caller trivia,
Could be. Yep. That's for sure.
Could be a lot worse. I mean, I would have vetoed chest wax, but at least I didn't get it. Just kind of bummed,
No. Only 3 weeks left.
Yeah.
Be a lot of punishments in 3 weeks, though.
It will be.
This week's weird. This week's like there's a couple teams that should be surefire wins, like Florida against Samford. Alabama's playing
Well, isn't this
a
is it?
non-conference game.
No, it's next.
Next week's the real soft one.
Right, that's when Bama and Auburn play like their joke teams before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One we do too, right?
Yeah, but
Sort of.
they do that every year. I'm surprised that we have South Alabama so late in the schedule.
Right? Hang on.
What's that?
I think Alabama changed.
Alabama has New
They have-
Mexico State.
They have New Mexico State this week.
And then next week, who do they have?
So maybe they have like an easier
Another bye week?
No, like I would guess like an easier SEC team.
Yeah, it's actually, man, it's a tough week. The only give me's are Kentucky because they play Vanderbilt.
They play Arkansas, so they're going with their gimme game this week. New Mexico
Interesting.
State, then Arkansas, then at Auburn.
So
You got a lot of coin flip games this week, right, Davey?
Yeah,
Like 3 or 4.
Yeah, so the automatic wins: Alabama against New Mexico State. I still think Florida should beat Samford.
I would hope so.
I would classify that as a automatic, and then Kentucky versus Vanderbilt and Georgia over Tennessee.
What are the others?
The gimmies, or the
Say that
toss-ups: Texas A&M at Ole Miss, Arkansas at LSU, South Carolina at Missouri, and
Those are all really tight lines.
Mississippi State at Auburn.
I mean, you be hard to pair those teams up anymore evenly, really.
Good
So
week for draws.
Two tougher weeks, and then that next week may not be as bad.
Alabama opened as a 51.5 point.
They gave a line for that one?
Yeah, I'm surprised because they haven't for Florida yet.
Really?
Or I'm not seeing it if they have.
What do you think they're waiting on?
Probably see if they fire any more coaches.
Yeah, that's yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll come back. Final segment of the program. Stick with us next.
Thanks.
Final segment of the program. It's brought to you by MyBookie. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. So get your account set up. Use promo code Knoxville. Double your first deposit or decide not to. Either way, just read the fine print. MyBookie.com. Just go there on your phone. It'll work for mobile browsing or on any other device as well. It's MyBookie.com. Use promo code Knoxville if you haven't signed up yet, especially if you're in an area where you can't use some of the other services. It's MyBookie.com. Promo code Knoxville. We do appreciate you supporting our sponsors now and always.
That's how this program works, folks. We do thank you. Punishment. You hate to see it. You really do.
Yep.
Oh well, we live and we learn. We battle, we move forward.
I saw some Alabama fans tweeting that they wanted Jeremy Pruitt back. Guess what? You can't have him because he's about to have a show cause. Like your boy Tosh.
They want him. They want him back.
Yeah, they're not happy with their defense, even though they held
They
LSU
gave up
to
14
points. They're Alabama fans, dude. They're spoiled.
Yeah, that's true.
They're like, why can't we do what Georgia's doing? Georgia doesn't even allow a touchdown a game. We should be doing that.
Might be onto something.
Yeah, I guess in a weird way. Might be.
They did have a bunch of highlights last night on the NFL Network after the game, and they were just kind of recapping all of Sunday. And there were just like a lot of plays made. And one of the guys just said, well, there's the moral of the story, kids. You want to go to the league, go to Alabama. Because there's like one Alabama player highlight after another.
What are you going to do?
Where's the Iron Bowl at?
I think it's at Auburn this year, is it not?
I think they got a chance, man.
Yeah, it's Auburn.
That's one of those that always gets weird.
It does.
If Nick Marshall can go in there, and granted that did take in one of the craziest plays in college football history, but
yeah.
if he can go in
Safe
there
to
and
say.
get it, who's to say 5th year, 6th year, 7th year Bo Nix can't do it? I don't know. How long's he been there? Does he have another year? Surely to
minute.
God he's done, right?
He's got to be done. I don't know though. Things get weird.
Mm-hmm. What are the playoff rankings going to look like this week?
Yeah, let's
Michigan
wait till
State's
after the
done.
college football playoff committee comes out before we pick up who we have.
Okay.
So we don't pick up guys that they don't even rank, you know? Because like, who'd be stupid enough to do that?
That's a good point by you. And that was you.
Mm.
I mean,
Why'd you do that?
Georgia's going to remain number 1. Cincinnati, whew, things got dicey there a little bit.
Yeah, they actually proved the committee pretty right on their performance on Saturday. Like, we won.
I'd say that was gutsy.
That was, yeah. I don't know, Oklahoma should move up.
Who did they play over the weekend? They weren't off this week, were they?
No, they played, or were they?
I don't know. That's why I asked.
I'm looking it up.
Why does...
They played somebody,
Mm.
I think. Maybe not. I don't know.
Now we know. Except we don't.
It actually doesn't look like they played anybody.
So Georgia will stay put. Alabama will stay put, I think. I mean, they weren't that impressive, but Michigan State was right behind them. They lost. Oregon went on the road at Washington, only won by 10. So it's not, and Washington's awful. So it's not like they were impressive enough to move up ahead of Alabama. Same thing with Ohio State. They only beat Nebraska by 9, and that game was a one-score game until very late.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati only beat Tulsa by 8. Michigan, did beat Indiana. So I don't know. Maybe they might jump Cincinnati or something. That whole group of teams is very odd. Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, all 1 loss, and Cincinnati undefeated. And then Oklahoma was off. Wake Forest is going to plummet.
The AP kept Cincinnati 2 and Alabama 3, but Alabama's only 4 points away from them. And when you're looking at a scale that big, that's extremely close.
A&M and Ole Miss are going to move up a little bit because Auburn lost, Baylor lost, Wake Forest lost. Oklahoma State still has a shot, I'd say, at the playoff. Pretty good shot because they do get Oklahoma and they can win the Big 12 with their 1 loss. They won convincingly over West Virginia. They've only allowed 6 points in the last 2 games. That defense, it's weird. Mike Gundy with a team that's like one of the best defenses in the country, but that's the way that's shaken out. But, I mean, it's going to be a weird playoff this year, I think, right? I mean, I guess theoretically you could end up with like Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, Ohio State at the end of the day, and everybody be like, yep, well, that's kind of how it typically is. 2 SECs, a Big Ten, and 1 other team. But if Cincinnati's in it, I mean, if Auburn were to beat Alabama, or if Georgia pounds Alabama in the SEC championship game, maybe
Another loss for Alabama, they're not making it. Right? I mean, if they lose to Auburn or to Georgia, they're not gonna be in. I mean, if Georgia loses to Alabama in the SEC championship game, unless it is a waltz, they're going to be in. Assuming Tennessee doesn't handle business.
I mean, I could still see a situation where Alabama loses the SEC championship and still gets in.
Maybe
With
it depends
two?
on what happens. All these other teams only have one or I mean, Michigan. I guess I'm looking at the records from last week too. So Michigan State already has a loss.
Right? Yeah, they're done.
This would sound crazy, but I kind of want to see it just for the chaos because I don't want Georgia to win. I'd rather Alabama get another national championship.
Me too. I'd rather Bama get another than Georgia get one.
I would rather Alabama get in the college football playoff than Cincinnati.
Just for the mayhem?
The mayhem won, but Cincinnati doesn't stand a chance against Georgia.
That's what everyone said last year in the bowl game. They had that game won.
Yeah, but Georgia didn't play everybody. Georgia set out a good amount of people.
I just don't. I mean, if you're Cincinnati, you've had some close games, but you beat Notre Dame at their place, and if you win every game,
I don't think Notre Dame's any good either.
I don't disagree that I don't think they're amazing, but I mean,
it's hard to find four though that are
right.
I mean,
right now the four best teams in college football, but just
eyeball.
Yeah, I don't know what their record is right out beside them, but I've watched all these teams in the top 10 play. The four best teams are Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Oregon.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I just feels like at some point, if you're Cincinnati, you can only play the games that are on your schedule. And they did have, I know SMU won this weekend, right? But they lost last weekend because that was Cincinnati's only next halfway decent game against a ranked opponent. But I guess we'll see. Real quick on the way out the door. Kentucky had 612 yards of total offense, their most since having 635 against Tennessee in 2016. They lost both games. This is the first time in school history that Kentucky has scored at least 41 points in regulation and lost. Prior to Saturday's game, they were 119-0 when scoring at least 41 points in regulation. Yeah, but you ran into the hype, man.
Yeah, cover somebody. I mean, they at least lined up to cover our receivers, unlike that Florida year where they just didn't even line up out there. But they didn't do a very good job of running with them.
They're so bitter.
The linebackers are going to struggle to keep up with Bayless.
Do you remember the play we missed before he caught the touchdown, kind of the little seam where he didn't get his head turned around? I was looking at kind of their alignment before that play. They had a linebacker on him there too. And it was amazing how many times.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just formationally or if Kentucky, there were a few times where they just could not get lined up right. They were still looking for the signal. But we had mismatches on them all night, and it showed. We took great advantage of it. We only made mistakes when we tried to run the football. We should have just chucked it all over the yard.
Both sides had this, but Nate, I can't remember who you were saying was just I struggle to watch college football just because it's too easy. The guys are just running too open.
Yep.
Yeah, but after what we've been through the last 3 years,
it's fun.
I'll take it being our guys running wide open.
I'm just saying, it's
Well, we said it with the Tyson Helton year.
Why is this so hard?
Everybody else can get guys open, and then it's just can their quarterback hit them?
Right.
Our guys, we can't even scheme up anything. It's just so refreshing.
Well, and now I think we know why. Because our head coach was a babbling idiot.
Yeah, no identity.
Who's going to have a show cause pretty soon.
Well, there you go. That's Monday edition. Happy birthday, Houston edition
Shouts
of the
out.
program. The Blitz is next. Keep it locked in, and don't forget, tomorrow, Optimism Tuesday.
There it is. A lot of Georgia reason for optimism if you look hard enough to find it.
Ball bounces.
We will dig.